that first scene in the journal. I have not been honest with you, Father. I have not told the truth. I name you Father because you're the one who took me in when I had no other. When I was a broken and bloody boy whose true parents were slaughtered in front of him by bandits. A boy who lost an eye to the knife of a petty thug who took the lives of his parents right before his eyes. A small Bosmer boy who was raised as the son of a Breton man in the land of Cyrodiil. I heard the japes. I heard the names they called you because you took me in. But they were cowards, Father. They knew what happened to me. They knew that it wasn't my fault, and that I was a lost boy in a foreign land. If they had their way, I would have been left to die in the woods where you found me. But not you. You saved me. You healed me. I am alive because of you. And you're dead because of me, Father. There are no bandits. It was all a lie. It was a lie because I was terrified of the truth. Scars on my face came not from a knife, but from claws. A great beast. A white wolf. A wolf so large that even a bear would be frightened. My only memory of the time before you took me in is the moment that changed everything. A white wolf with eyes as red as the fires of oblivion, tearing into my mother and father, then turning his gaze to me. He attacked my mother first. He used his teeth to tear my mother's throat. Couldn't scream. The only screams were those of my father and his wailing boy who had just watched his mother die. He turned to my father next. My father was no warrior, but he did everything he could to try to stop the beast. He slashed at it with a knife he kept in his boot, but the wolf didn't so much as flinch. The white wolf looked my father in the eyes, let out a roar that chills my blood to this day, and tore his throat out the way he tore out my mother's. Then he turned to me. I was frozen in fear, sobbing at the sight of my parents. Wolf didn't care. He approached me. Slowly but steadily, he drew closer. The only thought in my head was a wonder why he hadn't attacked me the way he attacked my parents. He paused when his eyes met mine. He sniffed me, then turned away. I thought I was safe. I wasn't. He came at me with his claws. He slashed at my face and broke my bones. He howled. His howl seemed more of a cackle than the howl of an ordinary wolf. But this was no ordinary wolf. After my left eye was slashed, I realized what this animal was. This monster. It was a werewolf. When you took me in and became my father, I feared for you every day. I was afraid that the beast had passed its curse on to me. I was afraid that one night I would turn in my sleep and wake to find your blood on my hands. Weeks went by from when I was attacked, and I hadn't turned. You remember how I used to ask you about the moons? I would count the days till the full moon, knowing that I would finally turn at the sight of it. But I never did. Months passed and my worry began to fade. After years of living with you, I was sure that I would never turn, that I wasn't stricken with lycanthropy the way that I thought I was. But I was wrong. It was the night of my 18th birthday, Father. I hope I didn't cause you much pain. I hope that there was a part of me in the beast that night, and that I granted you a swift death. I fell asleep that night, and woke into a dream. No, not a dream. It was a single, most real experience of my life. Lord Herstein stood before me. I was in his hunting grounds. He gestured toward me to walk with him. I was afraid, but he tapped his spear upon the ground when I hesitated, and his hounds leapt to his side. He didn't speak a word for a long time. I walked with him for what seemed like hours to the top of a great hill. Over the edge I saw a vast forest that stretched out as far as the eye could see, with a burning red moon in the sky. From the forest I could hear the screams, the howls of his hounds. He sat down on a large stone and took a deep breath, as if to smell the air. Glory, that is what awaits you. Power, that is what I offer. He turned his head to me. Suddenly I understood. I was turning. My soul belonged to Hircine now. I was to be one of his hounds. Tears welled in my eyes, and Hircine let out a booming laugh that I felt in my bones. Why? I pleaded. Why now, after all this time? The blood moon was in the center of the sky now. The screams from the forest had stopped, and only the howling of his hounds could be heard. A chorus that I would come to find beautiful. I will never forget the words he spoke to me next. I wanted a hound, not a pup. Hircine touched my shoulder. I woke. It was as I had feared. I was collapsed on our floor, covered in blood. I ran to your bed, and you weren't there. I checked the whole house twice, and you were nowhere to be found. I prayed that you were away from home when I turned. I prayed that if you weren't, you had managed to escape me. That's when I went outside. I found you slumped under the tree that you had loved so dearly, your throat torn out and one of your arms missing. I realized what I had done, and I wept. I wept for hours until I couldn't weep any more. That was the last time that I wept. You were kind to me, Father. You saved me, nursed me back to health when I was cold and broken, took care of me, loved me as your own son, and I repaid you by unleashing the monster that was always in me. No man deserves what I did to you. I know that now. But I know something else, Father. It was your fault. It was your fault for taking me in. You should have left me to die in the woods that day. If you had, Lord Hircine would have turned me then and there, and I would have been saved. He's told you as much. I go to the hunting grounds now and again during sleep. I've spoken to Hircine many times over the years. He is a friend. His power is great, and he has seen fit to share some of it with me. I don't know where you went when I killed your father, but I know that when I die, I will go to the hunting grounds alongside my master. I will join the chorus of howls that echo through that forest. I will be unburdened, and I will spend eternity chasing the prey through the woods. Maybe we will meet again there. If we do, I will not look to you as I look to prey. You are not prey. You proved that you were a brave and honorable man the day you saved me. You are not prey. I will never see you in that great wood. This is farewell. I am Mary's blind eye. I am a killer. I am a thief. I am a servant of Hircine. I am a hound. I am a werewolf. And that is the truth, Father. By golly. Journal of a Reveler. This should be good. Dearest Father, I've made it to the college, and I'm very excited to begin my new life. The wagon driver had kept me very entertained with such delicious stories of the lives of the peasantry. His wife and son died of something called corpseus back in his homeland of Morrowind. It's all very exciting. Perhaps I may apply my studies of natural philosophy to help people like them. Imagine Daddy's little boy carrying the world of such a terrible affliction. I've unpacked my things. So far, I am staying alone and my boarding hall is, in fact, empty. So it's not much unlike home when you were away on business. I have not yet met my teachers or classmates. Attendance is low. The headmaster has invited me to be moved to a dormitory with a larger group of people, but I am accustomed to loneliness. I have plenty of time and quiet to read before my studies begin. I don't know how much time I'll have to write when the studies begin, but I want you to know that I love you, Father, and I'll be writing when I can. Thank you for this opportunity. Dearest Father, it's been some weeks, and I believe that the postmaster for the school may be forwarding your letters to the wrong room. Hopefully, the student who has received them has hitherto been searching for me, and will rightfully deliver them to me forthwith. Excuse me. I'd love to hear how your business dealings are going. They've always been so fascinating. How I'd love to sit at the door of your office and listen as you spoke with your business associates. It always sounded so fun. I've made a friend. While I know very few people in my classes, a boy my age has moved into the room besides mine. His name is Agus Nunn, and he studies the School of Illusion. And from what he's told me, it's all very fascinating. He asks me questions about my studies, and I have no idea how to respond. No one's ever asked me about myself. We don't share any classes, but we've decided to study together. He's explained to me that you never truly understand what you know until you've taught someone, and he says that he has so much to teach me. Dear Father, I have acquired the services of a personal courier to deliver my letters to you. Postmaster persists in his deceptions. He lies, insisting that no correspondence has arrived and that it would be impossible for him to make such a mistake, as I am the only student in this hall. What a fool he must be! It must not be a simple mistake. This must either be a conspiracy against me, or he must just be utterly lazy and incompetent. Agus has told me not to mind this deception. He says that I am at school now, away from you, and that I must learn what it means to be a man, a real man. He has helped me greatly in this endeavor, and has made it his personal mission to relieve me of this great burden. I've started speaking up in classes. My teachers apparently like me, and I'm sure that my peers are impressed by my prowess. Please, write soon. The courier has been instructed to inform you of any peers of his in Anvil whom you may hire to deliver your letters, so that the postmaster may not lose them. Excuse me. Dear Diary, I've decided to record my thoughts in a private journal. I know that my father has received my correspondence, but clearly the courier my father has entrusted with his correspondence is taking advantage of him. Nothing still arrives. Agus and I have begun sharing classes, and he has helped me still more in breaking through my shell. He tells me the funniest, wittiest, most charming things to say. His words have made me quite popular with other students my age. Still, though, I feel he suffers. No one pays him any attention, though he doesn't seem to mind. He is perfectly content to speak only to me. I've been invited to my first social gathering. A girl of noble heritage has invited me, along with our other classmates, to a feast in her family's estate. Agus was not invited, but he insists that I attend alone. He says that I'll do just fine without him, and that he looks forward to hearing about the event from me. I'm about to leave. Dear Diary, I made a fool of myself. Things were going well at first, and I was able to make other guests laugh. However, the hostess made an observation that struck me as odd. You have become so different over the year. You used to be so quiet, and when you did speak, it was in class, which was dreadful. You're indistinguishable now from who you were. What happened? Well, I became friends with Aegis Nunn. The guest seemed confused. Who? The hostess asked me. My best friend, I explained. Aegis, my neighbor in my dormitory hall and companion. You met him. No, she explained. The rest of the group murmured in confusion. You have. He sits beside me in the dining hall and studies with me in the library. We attend class together. He has helped me so much. No, she interjected. He doesn't. You're always alone. I removed myself from the party and hired a private carriage to bring me back to the school. I needed an explanation. I was scared and confused. When I arrived, Aegis was not in his room. His room was empty. As I felt the world spinning around me, I stumbled into my own quarters where he was there waiting for me, under the covers of my bed. He invited me to sit beside him. You deserve an explanation, he said. I told him that I was confused. Let me explain, he said. He removed the covers, rose, and embraced me. Father, I know that you never read my letters. I found them in your drawer after my meeting with the solicitor. They were all there. You've never read them. They were gathered in a box unopened as the day they arrived. The money you worked so hard to earn is going to a good purpose. Every penny. Sanguine has a purpose for me. A divine purpose, grander than anything you accomplished. Sanguine has made it very clear to me. Man and elf are not ready to taste the pleasures he may give them. He has explained quite intricately that there are laws against such things, what they are and how they may be overcome. It's clear to me now. International waters. I've commissioned the Empire's greatest engineers in the pursuit of a palace where Sanguine's rituals may be practiced with privacy and without judgment. That floats on the water as an island, away from man's silly laws. It's large and provides everything for us to just live out there. A pen for animals, an apparatus for us to purify seawater, fertile pots of soil for us to grow food. This purpose ultimately is your final purpose as well. Who could have known that all that work would come down to play? Colonel, I can hear the drums, blah, blah, blah. I like this song. I like it a lot. Hey, who's that over there looking at me? Come on over here for some kissing. Oh, yeah. Why did I do this? I'm done. But Sanguine won't let me stop. It hurts so much, I'm so thirsty, and every fluid has been drained. The women are nearly dead, but he won't let us stop. The music in our ears, it keeps banging, 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 bang, 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 bang. They just lay there, and he makes me do it, and I don't want to, but I have to, and it hurts, and they cry in pleasure and agony. Fruit is gone, and there's no way for us to get more. The grapes were consumed more quickly than they grew, and the vines were left to wither and die. And the cheese and wine were consumed immediately. The animals died not longer after we left from neglect and abuse. The ship has become rotted from the sea air and drags in the water from the crust of life that has become caked on beneath. Yeah. What a rat mess you got yourself into.